We go. I do believe we're live. So I'll say indeed and greetings on friends. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to consider a centering thought. And today's has been this idea of an accountability buddy. Of accountability as an energy that we can participate within. That accountability, but realistically, it's easier to have accountability with buddies. And you, friends, have been my accountability buddies, right? That I have been given this opportunity to show up and be, in the words that we have explored, a gentle reflect upon and see that you are not alone on this journey of soul that every single one of us are on. It is an experience that is difficult to understand sometimes. It's uncomfortable. I am very uncomfortable being a person. Most times. At most time. It's like pretty uncomfortable. I'm like, being a person. But there are those moments where it becomes clear that being a person and being here is something chosen, right? Something that if you were a kid putting a coin in one of those little turny thingies, you would get like a nice shiny thing. This life that you're living is that shiny thing that you wanted, and now you're getting it. But we forget that part, and I feel like that's where a lot of us are kind of like hurt as beings. Is that this experience of life was supposed to be a beautiful one, right? Was supposed to be one that we would have each other to be accountable with, and to, and for, and because of, and because we're so scattered and very much encouraged to figure our own thing out, right? The separation, the individualization of our society. It is hard. It is hard to like set out to do something and expect other people to be accountable with you, right? Having that expectation wouldn't be fair, wouldn't be wise, would beget suffering on your part if you wanted that, if you thought you needed that, right? And it is this opportunity that every single one of us has to, I want to say the word inspire, right? Like I'm not, I want to say easy to inspire. I don't know if that's something to be proud of, and I'm not. But I can be inspired, right? So it's like not a complete. And it's interesting how those moments of inspiration can come unexpectedly, and what they mean to you when they do arrive, right? I'm thinking about work is kind of like that. You get paid to be accountable, right? Literally. I'm thinking about a friend that I met, Nancy, talking about this meeting inspiration in places you might not have expected. I met a guy named Reese, uh, Moon Java, I think is his artistic name. And I was, and still continues to be, inspired by him, right? And his accountability, the thing he showed up to be accountable for, is that piece of art that was put on the wall, that Blauwkop that he painted. And the thing, I was there was also for accountability, right? And both of us got paid to be artists on that weekend. I was accountable for the art that was happening on the screens. So in that way, I feel both of us inspired one another and now have become each other's accountability buddies, even though we don't necessarily like exchange like direct contact details. I have him on Instagram, I think. Uh, and we're not going to be like reaching out day after day to make sure this other person is still making their art, right? Like both of us have been inspired uh, by the fact that we are kind of like on the same path in this world, and that we now have to be accountable to ourselves, seeing that there are other people like this in this world with us as well, and them showing us that in them being accountable for their art and showing up for their lives, a life was had, a life is made, a life is created that wouldn't have if they weren't accountable for their art. Me saying this about ourselves looking at each other. So there's power. There's a lot of power in coming together as people. And that's sometimes what work is as well, Nancy, right? It's a bunch of people coming together to solve some sort of problem, to offer some sort of service, to make some sort of product, adding value. Adding value. Work is how you change the world, is another one of my favorites to think about. All right? When you do your work, you change the world. Literally. And you're the only one who can change the world in that way. In that exact way, the way that you would change the world, right? Because they can replace you to do the same job, but they can't replace you to do the same work. Because work extends beyond just the job, right? It extends into the conversations had, into the experience had. This is the last. This is the last of those gifted nugs I had. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it. What a blessing it is. I'm smelling papaya. Papaya and gas. Just the way I like it. I'm gonna get myself half. I only got a third, actually. Yay! More for later. Trying to link later to accountability. Accountable to myself to be later. Later, I will be accountable to myself. But now as well. This one is the one that tastes like blue cheese and fig. Gas? You don't like gassy flavors? Gassy flavors to me, the way I would like try and explain it like simply, is like a pungentness that is sharp, right? In the same way that like there's a sharpness to fuel next to your car, there's a sharpness to the bud that has that quality. The taste, however, on this one was that blue cheese, fig, pineapple, like a whole funkiness. Very nice. I like it. That that one tastes like popsicles. Very candy-esque. Woo! That one is gonna take me places. There's more medicine left in there. Oh goodness. You know, Melt, you showing up every day during times when you don't feel well, like with your tooth or emotional stuff going on with your family. Give yourself props for that. Thank you, Nancy. You giving me props for that helps. It's not always easy for us to give ourselves props, you know, because even though I am doing things and I am showing up and I'm trying hard, I almost expect that of myself, right? Like that's again the whole expectation and accountability thing. I do consider myself a very accountable person. So I want to be, especially because I made you a promise as a community, accountable to that promise. You know, I'll show up come hell or high water, right? Forever. I'm gonna be alive forever, then I'll show up forever. All right. Alive again today, then I'm gonna show up for love again today, no matter what. No matter what. Right? So like it's almost not something that I give myself any props for anymore. So the fact that you friends appreciate it is all that matters. It's the only meaning it carries at this point, Nancy. Thank you for showing up with me. That's what I'm saying. I could imagine me saying, not today. I have felt many days, you know, where there is like a part of me that's like, huh. But I don't really entertain those thoughts because, again, right, like, what will I regret more at the end of my life? Will I regret doing less or doing more? Who am I? Melt less? No. Melt more. Agreed, Nancy. That is really impressive. Again, the part that's impressive to me is the fact that I've met friends like you who stuck around as well, right? Because like I've now had enough experience and perspective to know that that is actually a really rare quality. So boom, you're the impressive one. Get impressive. I appreciate you friends for joining me here. It really is a blessing having accountability buddies like you. Having this opportunity to show up together despite the fact that I am here. suddenly aware of where I am. How'd I get here? I'm joking. It took me a while. Took me a while to get here. My mind is doing a thing. Oh, a goodbye message has been sent. Thank you, Kristen. My mind's doing a thing of like unfolding my past into this present moment and then unfolding this present moment into the future. And I have like some beats in my mind of what's going to happen next. And it is so surreal to show my past self what the future is. Right? My past self in a way knew, in a way was like on the path literally since day one. But not knowing what that path is. And it just so happens that the literal fact, matter of the fact, that you friends have shown up here with me means that everything that has happened retroactively is like a part of the story. All right. If all of this is, like some grand unfolding, then every single one of us have a story, and every single one of us are significant in that way, right? Our story is novel. We might share chapters, we might share uh hey, careful with my stuff. We might share, certain passages. Maybe there's a moment or two that we can relate to within each other's. However, however, the complete makeup that is you is uniquely yours. And I feel the future that we're heading into is going to bring us back to valuing, you know, something. Like in a world where there's super intelligent AIs, what is the next thing to value, right? Like, really, what is the next thing to value? And I feel human experience is going to be that valuable thing. What that looks like is very complex, right? Does it look like everybody wearing glasses with cameras, contact lenses with cameras, brain computer interfaces that basically download and make use of cognitive data? I'm not sure. I'm not opposed to any of those fractals, technically speaking, you know, especially if they're proven to be safe and effective in creating the experience that they intend. And if you intend to have that experience, then you can. Accountability buddies. I feel like that's going to be a big thing about this space as well. Is that I have like such a good account of what this points at myself, ego is, who MeltMore is, what MeltMore wants to be, where MeltMore is going. Right? I have some idea of that. And I feel like the most terrifying part for most of us in thinking about future AI, potential brain computer interface symbiosis, with a super intelligent mind, right? Even hive minding ourselves as people so we can cognitively think together about complex problems, right? All of these things are very scary in consideration because we're very attached to this narrative we have of who I am and what I am. And I feel, again, right, this accountability that we have to one another, that I have to you as an audience, as friends. Right? That's why I call you friends, people I want to walk side by side with. Because if you open my stream into your space, you are by definition a part of my journey, kind of fractal, but from the perspective of I have a responsibility to you to try and make that as good as possible, right? And like that's why I feel very conflicted sometimes when I'm not having a good time, because it's like I don't know if I'm supposed to share this with you. And I have at least learned through you friends, through this whole accountability thing, that we can share the hard parts of our lives as well and find solace and find synchronicity, find similarities in each other's journeys through the difficult parts too. I appreciate your friends a lot. It really is a pleasure to be here with you. Hey, 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 are you digging holes in the garden? Are you digging holes? Better not. Better not be digging holes in the garden. Oh, Kristen, I appreciate the goodbye message. We can say, have the mostest resplendent day. I wholeheartedly love you all so, so tremendously, astoundingly, ineffably, luminously, profoundly, ineffably, marvelously, and soulfully, ardently, magnanimously. No, it's me. All of you. Oh, so steadfast and conscientious, unwavering and virtuous, scrupulous and forthright, resolute, honorable, devoted, true hearted, accountable buddies. That's so nice. I appreciate that, Kristen. I know there's been a couple of times I've struggled with mental health and didn't say anything in stream, but just having the stream helped a lot. Nancy, holding you in this moment, thanking you for showing up and just being here in those spaces too. Especially if it's difficult. Like I just had Pippi looking at me in a way that was like very, very cute as well. Get this dude too. Sup, bro? Sup, 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 sup. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, 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 hey. Is that dirt, bro? He was digging in the dirt, and now there's dirt on me. I do not approve this. I want some space. Oh no! How dare you? He's like, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? You put mud on me. You step on my stuff. Your maximum infractions. I'm going back. I'm going back to the Nancy fractal before I was so cutely interrupted. I thank you for showing up, right? From the perspective of sometimes when things are tough, when we're struggling with mental health, our minds might uh, give us bad ways to solve our problems, potentially indefinitely. And the fact that instead of solving our problems in that way, we solve our problems in other ways. We As you said, maybe don't solve our problems by sharing the fact that we're having a difficult time, but we're solving our problem by just showing up in this space, knowing that we're showing up with loving intent. I appreciate you, friends. Thank you for joining me. I think I'll read you the poem one more time, and then I'll say goodbye. This was Yesterday's Flower. This one feels simplistic in a way. You see those happy little faces? These ones. Does he look happy? Yeah, everyone's a happy face. So stoked for some quiet, a gentle invitation. Quiet, quiet, a slow breath, a soft release of the clamor within. Pause. The world's noise fades into a tender, unspoken light again. Silence. Not emptiness, but a warm space where the soul finds its home. Here in this stillness, solace settles and reminds you you are enough. You are loved, you are loving, and you are lovable. I love you, friends. I appreciate you for joining me, and I'll see you again tomorrow. I'll look for you, and I'll be like, whoa, I see you. If you see me, I'll see you again sometime. Bye, friends.